Last year I played through Super Mario Bros. 2 on the Super Nintendo All-Stars pack. This year my friend and I started a retro game club, and the first game that was selected to play was Super Mario Bros. 2. I decided to try the original Nintendo Entertainment System version this time, but that didn't go very well when I figured out you have to start from the start of the game when you get a game over. I wanted something I could save my progress in, and that's when I remembered. There was a Game Boy Advance port. Is this port of Super Mario Bros. 2 still worth playing today? Join me on Bradante's Game Room to find out. I had this game as a kid, and I spent a ton of time playing it. For my initial playthrough, I quickly beat the first 2 levels. In level 1-3, I took the secret warp that I happen to remember from my childhood. This brought me all the way to World 4 super quickly. In level 4-1, I encountered some angry marshmallows. World 4 has an ice theme, so the marshmallows were a bit of a pain to deal with as they just slid on the ice all over the place. Level 4-2 is an iconic stage for me. The purple whales are ingrained into my head. I specifically picked Peach for this level because I remember this is where the second warp is. This second world warp brought us all the way to World 6. World 6 definitely ramps up the difficulty. The second part of 6-1 was not very fun. There are a ton of pipes that you have to explore to find a key to the next section. This slowed me down, but eventually I found the key and beat the green birdo in a duel. Level 6-2 wasn't so bad after a tactical character switched to Peach. This is a great place to bring up a big change for this game. In the original Nintendo version of Super Mario Bros. 2, when you die, you stay on the character you selected. In the Game Boy Advance version, if you die, you can change your character. I switched to Peach because her floating ability came in handy quite a bit on this level. I did die a few times here, but overall, not too bad. On to 6-3 after another duel with the same green birdo. In 6-3 I messed up the bomb maze. I had to reset the level, but I easily got it the second time around. The boss for this stage was a bomb-wielding mouse in sunglasses. We caught his bombs, threw them back at him, and then we move on to the final world. World 7, the final world of the game, you can really feel it heating up difficulty-wise. A few sections were notably tough, like these clouds with enemies, and this vertical section with these annoying spark enemies. I died here quite a few times, but it was mostly due to lack of patience on my end. I eventually was able to beat the level with trusty old Mario. I was feeling lucky, so I bet all of my coins I collected in that level on the slot machine, and almost landed a 777. But it was not meant to be. In true Mario game fashion, the final level of the game felt like a maze. There was a lot of running around, and I just couldn't wrap my head around the layout of the level. Eventually, I found my way to the final boss, Wart. I died a few more times than I would like to admit. Wart is not a hard boss, I was just playing a bit impatient. After a few lives, I was able to defeat Wart. It's worth noting that I spent the same amount of time on 7-1 and 7-2 as I did with all the previous levels combined. Beating Wart concluded my initial playthrough. After beating the game, I felt my victory was a bit hollow. Thankfully, once you have beaten the game, it allows you to go back and play any level. They even added another collectible for you to find, Yoshi eggs. The Yoshi eggs add a ton of replayability. Even if you collected all of the ace coins, which is the other collectible in the game, on your first playthrough, you can still go back and look for the Yoshi eggs. I'm not a completionist, so it was not my goal to get every collectible, but I did go through every level I warped past in my initial playthrough. I also realized that I never played Toad in my initial playthrough, so I made sure to try him out here. World 2 had quicksand and pyramid themed levels, and a cool Hydra snake boss. World 3 started with a vertical stage, which was a cool change of pace. The boss for this world was standout as well, it was Robot Birdo. Next up, we're back to World 4 to finish the stages we skipped. I wasn't happy to see our angry marshmallow friends, but we made it through. The boss for this world was a fireball, which contrasts very nicely with the icy themes, The last world that was skipped was World 5. It went pretty smoothly until 5-3, where I lost quite a few lives. I did make it through to the end of the world though, to fight the boss, which was a rock-throwing crab. Once the crab was beaten, it was official, I had beaten every level in Super Mario Bros. 2 Advance. While I achieved my goal of beating all levels and seeing what this game has to offer, it doesn't end there. If you are craving more Super Mario Bros. 2, there are a few more objectives you can go for. If you are a completionist, there are 5 ace coins to find in every level of the game. There are 100 ace coins total, so that will keep you busy for a bit. As mentioned previously, once you beat the game for the first time, the Yoshi Egg Hunt begins. There are 2 Yoshi Eggs that are hidden in every level. They are hidden in the subspace you access when you throw down the potions to find the mushrooms that increase your health. If you manage to collect all of the Yoshi Eggs in every level, you will get a Yoshi on the main menu of the game. Personally, I am no completionist, so I didn't do these scavenger hunts. That being said, they add great replayability to every level in the game. First off, let's take a look at the weaker parts of the game. Something I ran into quite a few times was the screen moving when you're climbing vertically. The game almost pauses so the screen can move up with your character. This causes a few issues. It's jarring and it hurts the flow of the game. This happens anytime your character is moving vertically, so whether you're jumping or climbing, this happens. A few times I jumped up, and once the screen moved I was right in front of an enemy, resulting in me taking damage or losing a life. In Super Mario Bros. 2, you start with 2 hits. If you are hit twice, you lose a life. Throughout the levels, there are potions hidden in the weeds that you can throw to enter that subspace that we mentioned earlier. This is where you're supposed to find the mushrooms that increase your maximum hit points by 1. That is, if you can find them. I had such a hard time finding these mushrooms. It's mostly trial and error, which resulted in me running around with 2 hits for mostly the entire game. That being said, the next issue makes this less problematic. There are recovery hearts everywhere in this game. When you pick these up, it restores your health by 1 point. Pick up a big enemy and throw it, you get a heart. Pick up a weed, get a heart. Kill 2 enemies with 1 weed, get a heart. Throw a red shell at an enemy, get a heart. Some hearts are just sitting there waiting for you to jump up and get them. You can even find a capsule that has a star, a bomb, or a heart in it. The issue this abundance of healing items causes is it really decreases the value of having extra hit points. And knowing there is recovery items everywhere caused me to care way less about taking a hit. These issues are notable, but they didn't outweigh the positives. Firstly, the main cast of playable characters and all bosses in the game have voice lines. They are oftentimes funny one-liners or yippies. That's actually pretty impressive for a Game Boy Advance title. This was mentioned earlier, but another big positive is when you die, you can switch your character. Each character has a different skill set, so if you need a higher jump, switch to Luigi. If you need to glide across a large gap, switch to Peach. If you need to go faster, switch to Toad. And Mario is a good average of all of them put together. This is a great use of the cast, and was not something that was in the original NES version of the game. If you died, you were locked into your character in that version. The addition of the ace coins in the Yoshi eggs is a great way of getting people to go back and play stages they've already beaten. That, combined with the ability to choose whatever stage you want once you beat the game, is great, especially for a portable experience. This Game Boy Advance cart also includes a version of Super Mario Bros. I remember playing multiplayer with the GBA link cables with my brothers all the time. It was a great time to be a Nintendo fan when they went above and beyond like this. Super Mario Bros. Advance is an upgraded yet faithful rendition of Super Mario Bros. 2. They added collectibles for replayability, the ability to save your game, and Super Mario Bros. Classic, which adds a multiplayer component. For experienced platformer fans, this game won't be too difficult. If you are just getting into platformers, this is a great place to start. Either way, I would recommend a playthrough of this classic to anyone if you haven't played it before. I would just like to thank everyone for watching my first video game review. I appreciate it. This is the first of many that will be similar in format. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more retro game reviews. To accompany the reviews, we're also doing an unscripted podcast type video where my friend and I talk about the game freestyle. We just discuss our playthrough. If you want to hear more talking about Super Mario Bros. Advance, check that out also. And always, thanks again, have a great rest of your day.